1E. Now we're going to work with some double-digit subtraction. So the problem that we're going to solve today is 75 minus 41. So just like we talked about with our addition problems, since we've got double-digit numbers, we've got to keep in mind our place value. So we have to remember that these numbers are in the ones place, and these numbers are in the tens place. So the very first thing we are going to do, just like we did with addition, is we're going to cut our problem in half. And we know that we start with the ones place. So we don't go across, we don't subtract diagonal, we don't subtract on the tens side. We start with the top number in the ones place, and we subtract. So one important thing that I'm going to let you in on is a little rhyme. More on top, no need to stop. So let me write it out for you. More on top, no need to stop. So what could that mean? Well, we know we start over here. We know we start with this number on top. So 5, is 5 bigger than 1, or is it smaller than 1? It's bigger than 1. And if you need some help remembering, you can look at your number line. So you can draw a number line of your own, or you can use a ruler. So 5 is bigger than 1, which means, remember, more on top, no need to stop. So we've got more on top because 5 is bigger than 1, so we don't need to stop and do anything else. We can just start subtracting. So 5 take away 1. Just like we talked about with addition, we've got a couple of strategies that we can use. So our first one was drawing circles. So I'm going to start with 5 circles because that's our bigger number on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many are we taking away? 1. So we take away 1. Now let's see how many we have left. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that this is 4. Another thing we can do is count back. So we can use our bodies just like we did with addition, but we can count back. So we're going to start with the bigger number on top, 5. 5, take away 1, so 5, 4. So we know this is a 4. And then the last thing we can do is we can use that handy dandy number line again. So we know we're starting with 5, go back 1, we've got a 4. Now we can move over to the tens place. So we're going to start with 7, we're going to take away 4. So let's draw some circles again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to take away 4. So we'll cross off 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's count and see how many we have left over. 1, 2, 3. So our answer for the number sentence 75 minus 14 is 34. So that's one problem that we might see when we're working with double-digit subtraction. So we remember the phrase, more on top, no need to stop. Well, what if we've got more on the floor? What could that mean? Well, let's look at this other problem. 75 minus 47. Okay? Well, our first step is cut our problem in half. So I'm going to cut it in half because we've got the ones place and the tens place. And we know that we're starting right here on the top of the ones place. Let's look at our two numbers. 5 and 7. Is 5 bigger or is 5 smaller than 7? It's smaller, right? So we can either count up to figure that out, or we can look at our number line. But we know 4 is smaller than 7. So let's think of that phrase. More on top, no need to stop. Well, this isn't more on top. So I guess we got to keep going. So the next thing I'm going to teach you is this. More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. Okay? So let me write that out. More on the floor. Then you go next door and get 10 more. Okay, so let's walk through that and see what that means. Okay, so we've got more on the floor, right? 7 is bigger than 5 and 7's on the floor. So that means we have to go next door. Okay, well let's see, who's next door? Over here. So we're going to go next door to our 7 and we're going to get 10 more. So that means that we need to borrow from the 7. So we're going to borrow 10 from the 7. So what does that mean? Well, let's think about that place value a little bit. We know that these are 1s and we know that these are 10s. So this isn't a 7 and a 5. This is 70 and 5 1s. So 7 groups of 10 and 5 1s. Well, we need to borrow one of those groups of 10, so that 7 now becomes a 6. So it becomes 6 groups of 10. So the 5 borrowed that, so now 5 isn't a 5 because we added 10. So now it's 10 plus 5, which is, well, let's count up, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so now 5 becomes 15. So now that we were able to borrow 10 more, now 15 is on top and 15 is bigger than 7. So we can start subtracting. So 15 take away 7 is, well, that would be a lot of circles to draw, so I want to use my number line. So we are going to start with 15 and we're going to take away 7. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what number is that? It's an 8. Now that we've figured out our ones place, we can move on over to our tens place. So now we've got 6 groups of 10 and 4 groups of 10. So we're going to go and subtract these two numbers. So 6 take away 4. Well, I think I'm going to use my body this time to count down. So we're going to start with the number on top, 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So we know this is a 2. So what's our answer? 28. So 75 minus 47 is 28. And what did we learn? More on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. So if there's more on the floor, then we're going to go next door. We're going to borrow 10. So 7 became a 6. And then we can begin subtracting.